Hello everyone and welcome to the chassis variant series of myself, Critical Rocket. Today we're kicking off with the first of the clan 100-tonners, the Kodiak. Arguably I could have done the Direwolf first, but I decided that I'd go with the Kodiak because it's, I'd say, a little more popular these days than the Direwolf anyway, and it's a brutal mech, and I just thought this one I've got more variants to do than I do with the Direwolf anyway, so here we go. This is the KDK-2, the second model to have come out, and the interesting thing about every variant of the Kodiak is that they had a bit of a time jump between them, because the original Kodiak KDK-1 came out in 3000 basically, and the later models were all sort of post-clan invasion kind of era, so we're going into like the late 3050s, 3060s onward, and the KDK-2 was the first new variant of it, and what a interesting variant they came up with. Essentially, it's the Kodiak with some rejiggering of its equipment. So, from a hardpoint perspective, we're looking at a 100-tonner that's got 6 energy hardpoints, 1 missile hardpoint, and 1 ballistics hardpoint. The energy is equally spread, 2 in each arm and 2 in the CT, and 1 ballistic is in your right torso, and your missile is in your left. And the weapons loadout on a KDK-2, although you can already see it on screen, is 4 ER mediums, a Ultra AC-20, and a single Streak 6. But the interesting thing about the Kodiak 2 is that it's actually jump capable. It's the only jump capable Kodiak in the game. So it's one of those things is, do you want that slight maneuverability? Because unfortunately the way jump jets work in MWO, or MWOS, or however you're going to call it these days, is jump jets are great on lights and some mediums, the occasional heavy. But for the majority of your time, your jump jets are kind of useless on assault mechs. You can't use them to get up to many high spots, not without adding a shitload of them, the max number available on, say, an inner sphere assault. And clan assaults, most of them are locked in. So it doesn't help that way, and the way they work in MWO is very different from how they ever worked in tabletop or even the new Battletech game. So, normally on tabletop you would go, oh, it has, say, a jump range of 120 meters. Well, that equates to X number of hexes, and it's just, you know, the mech would boom, and it would just land there. And that's what made jump mechs kind of scary. Was not only was it a way for them to be able to get to a position, fire, and then get out of dodge, it was a way that bigger mechs, say like grasshoppers, could just literally jump into a group of mechs and just fire, and because he'd be point blank with you, and then the next turn he could jump right out of that group again and cool off. And that's what made this kind of maneuverability scary. And a 100-tonner like this, with that level of oh, excuse me, with that level of agility, is a terrifying prospect, especially a thing that's equipped with like an Ultra AC-20 alone, outside of the Streak and the ER mediums. Yeah, very, very deadly weapon combination. Sadly though, I wouldn't really go with the jump jets on this thing. You're probably going to want to go with something that's going to give you a bit more ammunition for them big weapons that you're going to be carrying anyway. As a bit of history about the KDK-2, it was essentially created during the, or in the interim period, and first saw action in the Combine Ghost Bear Dominion War. It was a very short conflict that happened in 3062. Where basically, if I remember correctly, I think the Lyran Alliance had kind of manipulated events, I can't remember now, but basically it ended up with the Kodiaks being deployed for the first time against Curitan forces since the invasion, and yeah, it kind of went to a stalemate, and it sort of cemented Clan Ghostbear as a more permanent feature of the Inner Sphere going forward. I think that was the idea in the writing of it, was to suggest that this new Ghost Bear were more interested in their new Inner Sphere duties more so than their than sticking around and going back to clan space, so to speak. So yeah, it was an interesting little setup. Did I miss? Oh, I missed one of the weapons. Sorry. Yeah, there's a CT mounted ER large laser as well. Yeah, missed that. I just saw it in the footage and remembered. Oh yeah, ZR large. Yeah, so one of the problems, it's high heat. All Kodiaks are risking it on the heat scale because they're so energy invested that it's a tough damn mech to run comfortably. So probably one of the first things you'll want to do is work out your most heat efficient builds where your energy is concerned, and then build that around whatever ballistics you're going to take. To be honest, I'd probably take the missile off. If it's one missile slot on this mech, I wouldn't have it. Personally, I would probably build it around a big ballistics weapon like an LB-20 or a Gauss rifle or something like that, and then tailor the rest of my weapons around that so it's not too hot and it allows me to use the ballistic as often as possible, because that's the thing that's going to execute the mechs. The other weapons are going to be there to soften them up for that big ballistics weapon. But yeah, I'd, to be honest, recommend all the Kodiaks straight off the bat if you haven't tried them. Clan battle mechs are great because they're as adaptable as in the sphere mech, so you switch the engine and all that anyway. It's pretty tough. It carries a lot of weapons. To be honest, it does feel a bit like a glass cannon. Kodiaks do die quick because they're so broad. So you have to be aware that if you're caught out in the open, you are going to get focused first. You are a threat. You are a terrifying weapon. So most teams are immediately going to focus down the Kodiak. So you might want to play this a little more canny. Try and be a bit more sneaky with your movements, use the terrain to your best advantage, and then just unload on somebody, because you will hurt them, if not outright kill them. And that's one of the main things you want to try and do. This map was an example of teams realising that, oh well, hang on, they're not here, so let's double back, and that's when we ended up catching them out. And it was a very long fight, it was very drawn out, but we did tear them apart, and I didn't go in straight up because it was very open terrain. If I had, I would have died a long time ago. But yeah, Kodiak 2, it's a lot of fun, great customization options, and well worth your time and investment, I would say. So yeah, not much else to say really about it, not much in the history side of things, and yeah, other than that, you just see the dying embers of this match here on Terra Firma, which is becoming slightly more popular these days, more people voting for the map. It's interesting to see. I'll be interested to see how it works with these proposed clan laser changes that are coming up, so yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody, and we have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!